All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Wahara Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out here toiling in His truth. I'm Pathaka Moth, GMS Dallas, and I'm just coming back at you with a really quick hit lesson, man. I think I'm going to entitle this, The So-Called UFOs Will Bring the Deliverance from Babylon, man, for the Israelites. So, just without any further ado, I'm going to get right into it because, contrary to popular belief, of course, the Christian church and the unlearned, they seem to think that the deliverance is going to be this so-called white man that's going to actually float down on an actual fluffy cloud, man. And that's not what the scriptures are talking about, man. The clouds in the Bible, in the scriptures, are actually talking about the chariots of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the chariots of Israel, man. You know what I'm saying? They're the vehicles of the angels. So I'm just going to get into a real quick hit lesson, man. Lord willing, it's edifying to the hopeful elect, which I hope to be a part of. I brought Sabbath Shah, and without any further ado, let's prove that, man, that the deliverance will be coming by way of the chariots, man. You know what I'm saying? So without any further ado, Isaiah, the first scripture I'm going to get is Isaiah chapter 31 and verse 5. And it reads, "As birds flying, so will Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai of armies defend Israel. Defending, also he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it." So, here Isaiah was prophesying the coming deliverance, man, which is going to be that second Exodus out of spiritual Babylon, aka America, man. Which this actual deliverance is going to it signifies a totally new Passover, man. Which I'm going to get into the scriptures and we'll get into that whole deliverance and everything. But it's going to be a new Passover, and that's why it says, "And passing over, he will preserve it," because the same thing happened during the time of ancient Egypt, the physical land of Egypt. Same thing is happening in this new Egypt, man. You know what I'm saying? So this signifies there's going to be a new Passover. But I read it again, Isaiah 31 and 5. "As birds flying, so will Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai of armies defend Jerusalem. Defending, also he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it." And that preservation is coming by way of the elect being beamed up. As a matter of fact, what was that scripture, which I didn't really have as a scripture? Salakia. Salakia. This is not what I'm looking for. I'm trying to remember exactly how it's worded. Salakia. This is Isaiah chapter 26 and 20, and it reads, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast." So, right here is the Lord telling his people, to enter thou into thy chambers. And the chambers that is talking about here is talking about the chariots, man. And it says, "And shut thy door about thee." Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. So that indignation, with that righteous anger of the Lord, the only way you're going to escape that, man, you ain't gonna be able to outrun a nuclear missile, man, nuclear missile fire. You can't get in your car and leave. You're not going to be able to get on a plane. You know, there is no escape, man. So the only way you're going to escape this thing is by way of the chariots, man, which is going to beam you up into a chariot, and they're going to take you in, outside of the ozone layer, which is the firmament, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this is going into right here, man, which lines up with what we just read in Isaiah 31:5, man. You know, how the Lord is going to fly over Israel and deliver it, man. You know, as birds, the chariots are going to, as birds, fly over the nation of Israel and deliver it, man. You know what I'm saying? As they're defending it, you know, because these devils are going to be coming down upon the elect, man. You know, be coming after the elect, and they're not going to succeed, man. As a matter of fact, when you go into the book of Revelations, chapter 11, it goes into that beam up as well. This is Revelations chapter 11 and verse 12, and it reads, "And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them." So they heard a voice, and it's going to be in the Hebrew tongue. It's going to say, "Come up hither, man." And that's when the beam up is going to start happening throughout the four corners of the earth, man. And they ascended up into heaven in a cloud, man. So that cloud, and it said their enemies beheld them. So all their enemies, of course, beginning starting with Esau, who is our a natural born enemy from the womb, man. You know what I'm saying? We're all the way back to the garden, man. You know what I'm saying? With the serpent and Eve, you know, Cain and Abel, all the way up to Esau and Jacob on into today with the so-called white people versus the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All the same righteous line against the wicked line. All of that is talking about the same thing. So that's the enemies that are going to be whole. And also 2/3 of Israel, man, you know, because the Lord is not dealing with the majority of his people right now. You know, so even they are going to behold too. They're going to see the deliverance as well, man. And they're going to know that they messed up, man. And when they should have been listening, you know, to the prophets, the servants, the men of the Lord out here, telling them to come back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, to the will and way of the Lord, you know, to the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability, man. You know what I'm saying? And 2/3 is already prophesied to not listen, and they're going to die, man. Right along with Esau and the rest of these heathen nations, man. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be destroyed. So, but the voice that they're hearing in the Hebrew tongue saying, "Come up hither," it says, "And they ascended up into heaven in a cloud," man. So let's get that. Let's prove what the cloud is real quick. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 104, and verse 3, and it reads, "Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot," man. Chariot, man. As a matter of fact, let me do this real quick. And I'm going to go into this word, if it'll let me. I'm going to go into this word, chariot here. Okay. It's H7398, and it's Rahab, and it's a chariot. Biblical usage, outline of biblical usage is a chariot. But when you drop down to the Strong's definition, there it is right there. A vehicle as ridden on. Chariot. Right there. A vehicle. You know, as a matter of fact, let's get the A in there. H7392, a vehicle as ridden on, chariot. So that's what the chariots are. That's what the clouds are representative of. So Psalms 104:3, "Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind." So it says, "Who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire," man. So the angels are the spirits, which they're fires, man. You know what I'm saying? But they are riding in the vehicles of the Lord, man, which are the chariots, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's talking about. So let's get another one real quick in Psalms, chapter 68 and verse 17. Psalm 68 and 17. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. There it is right there, man. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. So that just made the chariots and the angels synonymous, man. So those clouds, which we just found out is the chariots, are synonymous with the angels. So it's not a so-called UFO, man. It's the chariots of the Lord, man. And these devils know that, man. You know, that's why they're going to try to fight them when they return, man. You know, that's the war in heaven in Revelation, the 12th chapter, man. You know, so the chariots are how the deliverance from Babylon is going to come about, man. You know what I'm saying? And that'll be primarily in America, because this is where the majority of the Israelites are in these times. But also, you know, that second Exodus is going to come by, you know, throughout the four corners of the earth, man, where the Israelites have been scattered, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the second Exodus, there will be a second Exodus, man. You know, it's at hand, man. And don't, what does it say in Romans, the 13th chapter, man? It says to awake out of sleep. It tells us to awake out of sleep, for our salvation is nearer than when we believed. Roughly paraphrasing. As a matter of fact, I'm messing it up. I don't like doing that, so let me just go get it. It's Romans chapter 13 and verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed, man. You know what I'm saying? So we're at the time of salvation right now, man. We're in those times. We're in that sixth trouble. You know, we're in the 11th hour, you know, before that seventh trumpet, and that midnight, man, which is the destruction, man. You know, we're in the times now, man. So that's why it's we're telling these jakes, hey, wake up, man. The Lord said, wake up out of that sleep, because it's time for salvation. And that salvation will come by way of the chariots, man, which we just proved is synonymous with the angels, man. It's the vehicles of the angels, man. You know, so that second Exodus will come by way of the chariots, man. You know, as a matter of fact, let's go into that now. Let's get the second Exodus real quick. This is Jeremiah chapter 16, and I'm going to read verse 14 and 15. And it reads, therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, that it shall no more be said that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, you know, which is what till this very day is what everybody talks about, you know, Moses splitting the Red Sea, you know, or the Suez Canal, and us going through on dry land, you know, from that Exodus out of Egypt, man, the physical land of Egypt, man, you know. But it said it will no longer be said that the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But, so there's a change coming, man. Verse 15, but Yahweh Hashem Yahushai liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. We're in the land of the north, man. North America, man. And from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. So that's how the Israelites are going to be delivered, and they're going to be put back in their land by way of the chariots, man. You know, not by way of the Balfour Declaration of 1948, man. Those devils in the land, they don't fulfill any prophecy, man. You know, none of the prophecies line up with them, you know. So the actual deliverance is going to come by way of the chariots out of the land of the north. We just read it, you know, verse 15 goes into it, out of the land of the north, man. And of course, from all the everywhere else that the Israelites are scattered throughout the four corners, man. You know what I'm saying? So, which goes into when we go into the New Testament in Matthew, the 24th chapter. You know, this Matthew 24, and I'll read verse 30. Start at verse 30. The point is in 31. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. This is Matthew 24 and 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds. There it is, the clouds, which are the chariots, which are the angels. We now know that. The clouds of heaven, with power and great glory, because when those chariots enter into this atmosphere, it's going to be such a power, with such a power and force. It's going to be something unknown to these people, man. They've never experienced or ever or know anything of what they're going to know in that day and time, man. You know, when those chariots enter into this atmosphere with that power. And of course it said with power and great glory, man. You know what I'm saying? Because when you read so when the Yahushua returns, he's returning in his glory, man. And he tells you that in Isaiah the 47th chapter that he's not going to meet thee as a man, man. You know, he's coming. He came the first time as that sacrificial lamb, man. He was born just like everybody else, you know, and went through everything he did. You know, he came as that lamb, man, to be sacrificed. When he returns, he's not returning as that sacrificial lamb, man. He's coming back as that roaring lion, man. He's coming back in his power, man. That his glory, man. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to come back with power and glory. Verse 31. Here's the point, though, of that deliverance. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So that's that gathering. That's that salvation, that deliverance, which is going to come by way of the clouds, that very clouds that we just read in verse 30, man, which we've been going into the clouds in all these verses, man, you know, beginning with the first verse in Isaiah the 31st chapter, man, you know. So, you know, he's coming back in his glory, man. And Salakia, you know, when you read in the book of Acts, he left in the chariot, and that's what he's going to return in. So let's go to Acts, the first chapter, real quick, and verse 9. This is Acts 1:9, and it reads, "And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight." You know, those vehicles of the angels, man. So he left in a chariot, man, a so-called UFO, man, you know. And I'm gonna keep reading because they going, you know, let me keep reading. Verse 10, "And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, and as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel," which are representative of righteousness, you know, that pureness, that cleanliness, or the righteousness, the angels, man. Verse 11, "Which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua which is taken up from you," and he was taken up in a cloud, a chariot, the vehicles of the angels, was taken up from you into heaven, "shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven." So just like he left, he's going to return in a chariot. And you can get that. Let's get that. Revelations chapter 1 and verse 7. "Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so." Amen. So he left in a cloud, and right here it says he's returning in the clouds. Behold, he cometh with clouds, chariots, man. You know, we read in Psalms 68 and 17 that there are 20,000 and thousands, man, you know. So many chariots, man, you know, he's going to return with many chariots. But the point is that the chariots are going to be, because when Yahushua returns, he's returning, and two things are going to happen simultaneously: destruction / deliverance. Isaiah 31 and 5. He's going to deliver Jerusalem as he's defending Jerusalem, you know, so that the chariots, man, that's how we're going to get out of here, out of Babylon, man, you know, for those who can accept it, man, who can receive it. You know, it's not for everybody. This is going to be ridiculous and not make any sense to some of these people, man, to the majority, as a matter of fact. This is Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 21. "For Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall rise up as in Mount Perazim. He shall be wroth as in the valley of Gibeon, that he may do his work, his strange work, and bring to pass his act, his strange act." So that strange work, that strange act is that deliverance, man, by way of the chariots, man. You know what I'm saying? These people ain't going to believe, you know, what they're witnessing, man, and experiencing, you know. They ain't going to be able to believe it. They're going to think it's crazy, man, because it's something straight out of a sci-fi, you know, that because they believe what this devil has taught them about the so-called UFOs, man. And I'm going to bring one more out before I bring this lesson to a close. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 2. And it says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. So when these people see them chariots enter into the atmosphere, you know, they're going to be troubled with terrible fear, because they're going to think the average Joe Blow, six-pack Joe Blow out here is going to think, you know, alien invasion, man. You know, that's what they're going to think. And they're going to be in fear, man. You know, we've seen small skirmishes with, you know, in these times right now with certain jakes, and, you know, them seeing like the chairs and the you know, up in the heavens, and them just bugging out, man. That's going to happen on a large mass scale. These people are going to be bugging out, man. You know, that's that terrible fear. And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, because they're going to be experiencing and witnessing the elect being beamed up. That's what we read in Revelations 11 and 12. And their enemies beheld them when they hear that voice come up hither, man. You know what I'm saying? So far beyond all that they looked for, because they've been taught by the Christian church and the unlearned that, you know, you're going this white the white Jesus is going to float down on an actual fluffy cloud with his hands all spread out, ready to love everybody and express and bring love. Man, the Messiah is coming to destroy things, man. You know, Revelations 19 goes into that, how he's going to come to judge and make, he's coming to judge and make war, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he's coming to take a possession of the earth, man. You know what I'm saying? But in doing so, the elect will be, that salvation is coming, man, and the elect will be beamed up. So that salvation is coming by way of the chariots, man, the so-called UFOs. So, hey, with that, hopefully this was edifying to the hopeful elect. With that, giving all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Wahara Kakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect, the house of David, the Bayath, Shal Dawadat, Shalom.